Hey guys, it's Dan, host of your Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back with my next review for The Plague television series. This one is going to be for The Plague Season 2, Episode 5, which is the mid-season finale also, and that is for Fight With Us. So, wow, seriously. Rewatching this episode again of The Plague, I really enjoyed this one so much. This one was honestly, I remember this one being one of my favorites from this season, but rewatching this one, I definitely remember why I said that, because this episode was just so entertaining is probably the one word I would say to describe this episode. It was so entertaining all the way through. It just simply was. There wasn't a dull moment at all. There really wasn't. Now, one thing I will say in this episode that really got me excited for the second half when I was first watching it, was kind of like, so Scott escapes and he makes it into the second half, so, this storyline is going to continue in the second half of the season. Which for some reason I kind of thought maybe we would see his character death in this episode. No, didn't happen. So that's one thing. But anyway, so let's just talk about this episode from beginning to end. So we start off the episode with basically Anthony going on the ramp and going over the plague people, and then he clears some of them. It gets pretty close. He definitely gets close to getting killed here, but he doesn't. So he clears them all out. So. Then we've got him who he goes back to the city now. Isn't this cool? Because in season 1 we saw the city originally. It's kind of cool going back to an old location, and we basically find out. So I did like that quite a bit, and we actually find out that this that the old place in the city, they actually are setting up camp in a different section of the city. And he kind of thought they were wiped out at first, but then he runs into this guy named John, which I thought, now, let's just take a quick second to talk about John. I am going to mention a little bit of stuff that happens later on in the season. I try not to do that in the reviews, but just quickly, man, in the season finale, just the way John, and especially in this second half, I really started liking John as a character, and I would actually, now I know a lot of people might not agree with me, I'm putting John at my second favorite in the series. I love John's character, and I have a feeling that I'm going to start liking him even more once we see the third season. So, I almost view him as like Anthony's right-hand man, mainly in the season finale. So, anyway, so let's just talk about basically what happens. So, he tells him about, what happened in episode 4. He tells him about the amount of people that Scott has, which is 60 people, and basically he says no. He doesn't want to risk his, men's lives or whatever. He does give him a bike, he does give him a different bike. He's like, just take it, and basically, now, this also kind of, when I was seeing some of this go through, I kind of didn't think he was going to join him. I don't know, for some reason I had a feeling he wouldn't. I'm not too sure why. I don't know, maybe just the way the conversation started, I was like, okay, I don't know. I kind of almost guessed it, but nevertheless, that scene was really cool. And he actually didn't agree to fight with Anthony, which made this so, like, seriously, think about everything we see after him saying no. It's really like, you can really understand why he said no. So, Anthony gets back to the community, and right away, the plane, the plane comes in and destroys one of the houses. And then we get probably the peak of this episode, which would be definitely the middle, where you have some of the guys coming in tanks. Scott's in one. You've got the plane that crashes in, blows up, explosions, gunfire. You've got Anthony who goes up there in the guard post. He starts firing at Scott, and it's just this kind of like ultra battle. I almost thought that this was going to be like the final fight kind of thing, but that's not it. That's not it at all. No, it actually carries into the second half, which I really enjoyed. And, I like, because, like, Scott's in the tank, and then he starts firing at Anthony, and he's trying to get him, killed. And, Anthony's, like, trying to run down this, really, like, large guard tower there. And, basically, like, me personally, I would have kept going down until the point where I could jump. Because, I mean, seriously, he could have, if I was Anthony, I'd be worried about him blowing me up, like, in any second with that tank. So, yeah, I would just jump whenever it's, the right, height, seriously, because you really, you can't chance that. I'm surprised Anthony actually made it out of there, but basically you've got these other two girls here that have actually joined the community when Anthony was gone in episode 4, and they are also fighting. One of them gets killed, but another one of them survives. And basically you've got kind of like Anthony who, he chases him out of there, and then as soon as Scott is, escaping, Anthony goes after him. I really like that too. I'm going after him. I'm not letting him get away. And unfortunately he does, and it was super exciting for a mid-season finale. So I really did think when Anthony was kind of like, all right, I'm getting my stuff, I'm going after him, I really thought that was the end for Scott. I really did. The first time I watched it, obviously. But, yeah, that was just awesome. So, moving on to the end of the episode, they leave the camp because it's basically destroyed. And then they go to the wood factory, and they actually kill every single person. I thought maybe we would lose maybe one character while they were doing that, but they it was right to the point. They cleared everybody out and, moving on. I mean, that was just, seriously, when you see that kind of stuff, this is what makes me like Anthony the most out of anybody, because, like, seriously, think about how tough he is. I mean, seriously, he wiped out a whole community with Garrett, that's really crazy. So, them are both two strong characters, and it's a shame that, of course, Garrett got killed in the second half of the season, but we'll get into that for the second half. So, second half reviews will be coming up really soon. Also, just want to say, I cannot wait to see Season 3, but also to review the second half of the season. And also just want to say real quick, loved this mid-season finale. Really thought that this was one of the, again, because I've been saying it like after almost every episode, because I feel like this season, especially episode 4 and 5, are just crazy episodes. Really, I mean, there's so much stuff in it. So, and this one was almost like a half an hour too, so that's awesome. So, really cool stuff. Loved this episode, and I can't wait to review more. So, anyway guys, catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.